This is Ilya with Worn and Wound, and today we're going to take a look at the Tudor Black Bay GMT. In 2018, Tudor launched two new watches that got everyone excited. There was the Black Bay 58 with its smaller, more classic case, and then there was the Black Bay GMT, a true GMT sport watch with a Pepsi bezel that was clearly inspired by Rolex's GMT Master and Master 2. Note that I just said true GMT. That's probably an expression you've heard of before. But what is it and how does it differ from other GMT watches? The movement in a true GMT makes possible a jumping local hour hand. Through the crown, you can jump the hour hand forward or backward to set your watch to the new local time, while the 24-hour hand remains linked to home time. If you move past midnight, the date will advance too. Ultimately, a true GMT is way more practical, and I'm happy that Tudor went that way here. To make this functionality possible, Tudor produced the new MT5652 caliber. It comes equipped with a silicon balance spring, 70 hours of power reserve, and it's COSC certified. Altogether, the movement is what you'd expect from a Tudor not using an ETA-based caliber. The Black Bay GMT measures 41mm wide, 50mm lug to lug, and 15mm stick, so it's more or less what you'd get with the other larger case Black Bay models. One of my biggest complaints regarding the 41mm Black Bays, especially after Tudor introduced in-house calibers to the line, was that the watches were just too thick, and that thickness was often made worse by the fact that the mid-cases had polished slab sides. Here, Tudor tries to work around that by including two brush undercuts that run along the bottom of the case on each side. The impact isn't massive, but it does make a difference. The finishing here is top-notch. The tops of the lugs have beautiful angled brushing. The bevel that runs along the mid-case is razor sharp, starting out thin before flaring out near the bottoms of the lugs. The bezel teeth are fine and precise, and so are the teeth on the crown. Altogether, the Black Bay just feels like a well-made, high-quality watch. The bezels red and blue are borrowed from two past Black Bay references. These colors are a bit darker and less vibrant, which actually results in a beautiful, subdued take on the classic Pepsi colorway, giving it much more of a tool watch vibe. The dial is matte black and it features applied markers and a snowflake-heavy handset. In addition to the snowflake hour hand and the second hand, there's also a red GMT hand. It's a love it or hate it detail, but I do like the way the hand reaches all the way across the dial and lands right by the bezel's edge. The date window at 3 is well positioned and nicely sized. It's neither too small, nor is it large and obtrusive to the design. The date aperture is beveled, and it gives the date an attractive frame. Like other GMTs of this nature, the date is not quickset, which is one of the few downsides of this design. However, all is not lost here, because the date can be adjusted by jumping the hour hand. Dial text can be a bit of a problem for Tudor, but here the text is balanced between the upper and lower halves of the dial. The paint color is a nice match to the metal surrounds of the hour markers and hands. And for those of you who care about Lume, don't worry, the Lume here is bright and long-lasting throughout the night. If you've ever handled a Tudor watch, then you're likely familiar with how solid their bracelets are. I love the rivet style design, which pulls inspiration from vintage bracelets once produced by Rolex and other brands. I still think it's a miss that Tudor doesn't use their amazing Pelagos clasp here, which is one of the best on the market. But if bracelets really aren't your thing, Tudor does offer the watch on either a leather two-piece strap with a branded deploying clasp or a fabric mill-style strap. Altogether, the Black Bay GMT is a well-priced, superbly made, top-tier watch, and it's without a doubt one of the best pieces in Tudor's current catalog. On the bracelet, the Black Bay GMT is $3,900, and on leather and on the fabric straps, it's $3,575. For the full review, visit wornandwound.com.